afternoon. So I'm here today to talk you through doing this Create 4 Graphs project that you have due coming up. I have in front of me on the computer a worksheet from 2018. This is a couple of years old at this point, but I thought it would be nice to go through to give you an idea of what I'm looking for in the current data set. The project for this year is set up similarly, and that you're being asked to create 4 graphs. The first one, a comparative bar chart. The second graph, a double line chart. The third graph, a pie chart or a circle graph. And the fourth one, a histogram with a frequency table. I'm not sure we'll get to all 4 in this video. If not, I will post them separately, whatever ones we do not get to. All right, to begin, I'm looking at the data from 2018. And I can see that there is a sort of rough rubric here of the expectations that I'm making the create graph, that I'm using the data given in this worksheet from 2018, that each graph be submitted on a separate page, be appropriately labeled, and have a key legend, or in the case of a histogram, a frequency table with it, that all of the scales are appropriate, and that the graph is accurate and neat and legible. All right, so there are a few tutorials linked in the Word document and in the PDF, but I'm just going to add to that to make sure that you know how to do this. All right, so to begin, I'm going to do this in Excel. You can do this in Google Sheets. You can also do it by hand if you prefer. I don't recommend by hand because I did not make the numbers nice for by hand, but it can be done. I have had students do it. And as I said, I'm going to do this in Excel. So to start, I am going to open up an Excel book. I'm going to grab a blank one here, and I'm going to save it. I'm going to do a file, save as. I'm going to save it on my desktop because I will have to upload this to Blackboard, and I want to be sure that I can find it. So I'm going to do create 4 graphs. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first graph. And the first graph is a comparative bar chart. I am going to rename this sheet bar chart. That helps my instructor to find it. Okay, and then I'm going to copy. So on the Word document, starting with the lower right hand, I'm going to highlight and copy all of that information. Down here in the bottom tray of my monitor, I have my Excel, which disappeared from the screen. So I'm going to pop that up again, and then I like to use B2. I'm going to paste that information that I just copied. It doesn't come out as neat, but I can spread it out as neatly. And there we go. I now have it as neatly as it was here in the original document. Now, to create a comparative bar chart in Excel, it's relatively simple. I am again going to start at that 11 in the lower right-hand corner. I'm going to highlight my entire table, and I'm going to click on Insert, and then you'll see in the center there are charts. The recommended chart, I need the bar chart, the double bar chart, comparative bar chart. So I'm going to click on that one, and I'm going to click OK. Now, this is essentially a comparative bar chart. I now need to make sure that this compares with the rubric, which you received in the newer data set, or with this list over here. Is it the correct graph? We shall see, but I don't have anything labeled. So I am going to click on the plus sign here, and I am going to click on Axis Titles. And then I'm going to title my axis. These are continents by rank. In other words, first, second, third, fourth. Not wrinkle, by rank. Oh. All right. And on the vertical axis, I have the number of billionaires. Okay. Now I need to fix the chart title. The title of this graph, I am going to call Billionaires, Billionares. Whoops, AIRES, there we go, by continent. I should note, this is not the same information you got this year. Make sure that you are making the appropriate changes to your document as you go. All right, now, each one of these should be on a separate page. They should be the only thing on the page. So to help with this, I'm simply going to click on this diagram, drag it over the top, and nicely place it on top. So it looks like it's the only thing on this page. Now, the only other piece here is that this is not particularly legible down here in the bottom. So feel free, if you want to, you can mess with this a little bit. And like if I click on this continent by rank, I can increase the size, the number of billionaires. I can click on that and increase the size. The same with the title. Maybe I want that to be rather prominent. Each one of the continents are here. All right, I've got that. What else do I need? Is it appropriately labeled? I've got a title. I've labeled my axes. Each bar is labeled. Do I have a legend or frequency table? I do have a legend. I know that the blue bars are the number of billionaires in 2018 and the orange bars are the number of billionaires in 2009. Right? Is it accurate? It is accurate to the data that I had. And is it neat? This is neat. This is neat. This is fine. Okay, so the bar chart is done. Now, I don't need to open a brand new book to do the second chart. All I do is hit this little plus sign here, and you see new sheet comes up. So I'm going to click on new sheet, and I'm going to do this one for part B. So part B says what? Construct a double line chart. Okay, so again, either in the lower right-hand corner, I can highlight those rows, right-click, copy. I'm going to go back to my Excel sheet, and in B2, I'm going to do a right-click, paste, and this is now going to put the information for this double line chart. Now, I can create a double line chart. Oh, wait, I should do this before I think of it. See where it says sheet 2 down here on the bottom? I'm going to double click that. I'm going to rename double line chart. Okay, so now this is where my double line chart is. Okay, so to create that double line chart, again, fairly easy, a little bit of a trick to this one. Lower right-hand corner, I'm going to highlight all of this. I'm going to insert, and I'm going to go to the one that looks like a line chart. I'm just going to do the 2D line. Okay, now this is meant to be a double line chart, but do you see we have 3 lines? We don't need 3 lines. We need, oh, I got a legend again in there. Okay, so look at the blue line. That says that's the year. I don't want the years to be aligned. So I need to eliminate that blue line. It's actually fairly simple. I'm going to click on it. Click on the blue line. I'm going to right-click my mouse and hit delete. And that blue line is now gone. And I only have the 2 lines for Western, which is in orange, and for the tuition at UW La Crosse, which is in blue. Looking at this now, is it the correct graph? Well, yes, this is a double line chart. Is it based on the data given in this worksheet? Yes, it is. Is it on a separate page? It is. I'm going to cover up the data again once I get the graph done. Is it appropriately labeled? Well, I haven't done my labels yet. The chart title is a comparison. I can't type. We're comparing tuition for UWL and WTC. To keep it short and sweet, I do need to add labels. Now, if you don't have the plus sign in the corner, you can click on the graph itself, and you will get a plus sign in the top right corner, we want to add axis titles. So on the bottom, this should be years. And on the vertical axis, this should be dollars. Right? So I now have those, but my label on the horizontal axis is all messed up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I need it to be 1998, 1999, 2000, etc. So I'm going to double click on this. And that's my axis type, automatic base. Oh, I think I need the chart filter, categories. That's what I need. All right, so I need to select data for those categories. So I'm going to come over here, and I don't want to mess with the legend. I want to mess with the horizontal. So the horizontal categories, I'm going to click on Edit, and this opens up a window, and now I can do 1998 to 2017. And when I click OK, do you see how it puts the 1998 to 2017 in there again? Okay, so to go through that quickly again, I double-clicked it, but really what I need to do is this little upside-down funnel. I'm going to filter, categories, select data. And when I select data, I'm dealing with the horizontal axis label, so I'm going to click Edit. That opens up a window so that I can click on 1998 and then hold and pull down to 2017, and click OK. That puts in the correct date labels there. Then I'm going to click OK. And now I'm just going to put that over the top so nobody can tell it's there. And I'm going to make this bigger. Now, if I want to make it clearer, I can again go back to Home, increase the size to make it a little bit more legible. Make this 24. The legend, appropriate. Now it's appropriately labeled. I have a legend key or frequency. Is it appropriately scaled? Yes. Does that automatically usually. Is it accurate to the data? Yes. Is it neat now? Yes. I did want to point out that if you go to chart design, you can, don't mess with it too much, but you can get all different kinds again. I usually like on these guys to have the numbers because it's a little bit hard to read, or at least to have these dots so you can tell as you do the years which ones it is. So I'm going to go back and choose this guy because it gives me the years and it tells me the numbers comparison. Not that you have to, but it is kind of nice. I need to see, you kind of want to do this part first because if you don't, then you got to go back and get all your nicely labeled stuff back again because it changes it for you. All right, now and I'm going to click on this guy and I'm going to change this to black. And I'm going to click on this guy and change that to black. All right. Okay, so now I have the double line chart done. Great. The third one I need to do. All right, so I'm going to go, well, I'm going to hit save on this just in case. Because if you don't save in the middle, you can lose it. Although my computer auto saves at this point, but doesn't always. All right, my third one, part C, says to construct a pie chart. So again, I need this data, lower right-hand corner. I am going to copy. Then I'm going to go back to my Excel document. I'm going to open a new sheet. And in B2, I'm going to paste. I'm getting this hashtag because the column needs to be wider. And if I just widen up that, that'll work. And right away on this guy, I'm going to rename it. So right-click, rename, pie chart. Okay, so how do we do the pie chart? Well, I've got the 5 top vendors for cell phones, mobile phones, and this is from the first quarter of 2018. So in 2018, Samsung sold the most with over 78 million cell phones sold. Apple had 54 million. That kind of surprised me because Apple's so much more popular than Samsung, but Samsung actually sells more. I'm not really familiar with Huawei or Xiaomi or Oppo for that matter. I don't know any of those. I'm not sure how they get in the top 5 if we don't know them, but I think that's probably because I'm in the US and I have very much blinders on. So I would bet Huawei, Xiaomi, and Oppo are all from Asian and European countries. You know, because the US isn't the end-all be-all when it comes to sales. We don't purchase everything, just a lot. All right, so how do I go about making this pie chart? Well, what's important to note about the pie chart is that when you do the pie chart, you don't want to include the total in the information that you're pulling. You need the total, but you don't want to pull that information when you have Excel do the pie chart. So you actually want to start with others, and then you can pull that information. I'm just going to pull the rest of it. I'm going to insert, and I'm going to go down here to the pie chart, and I'm just going to do a basic 2D pie chart. And because I pulled the correct information, look at the beauty that happened here. I have the title, units sold in the first quarter of 2018. I have a pie chart along with a legend for that pie chart. But if I don't like the format, I can mess around with these guys up here at the top. And it will give me the different ones. Now, it's worth noting that in your rubric for pie charts, it does say that what I want to show on the pie chart is the percentages. What I'm doing here is showing the percentages. That's what's showing up. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes the numbers show up. So I'm going to choose this one. No, this guy. I'm going to choose this guy. Do I have all of my chart elements? Is it the correct graph? A pie chart is a pie chart. Yes. Am I using the data given in this brief? Yes, including, excluding the total, because you don't put that in a pie chart. Is it on a separate page? Yes. Is it properly labeled? Well, I've got the title. I've got the percentages on the sectors of the pie. Do I have so that's yes to both of those. Do I have a key legend or frequency table? The legend is here along the bottom. I am going to do a layout switch because it's just me. You don't need to do this. I like the legend on the side there. That's where I prefer the legend. It's just easier for me to read. It's also starting with the top right. It also goes around in a clockwise manner. In other words, Samsung is the first, Apple is the second, Huawei is the third, Xiaomi is the fourth, Oppo is the fifth, and then others is the largest section there. So that's kind of nice too. Is it accurate? Yes. Is it neat? Yes. I may want to, again, make things bigger. I'm going to cover this up because it's supposed to be the only thing in the page. I'm going to make this larger. Okay, so now I'm going to pull this down, make things big, right? So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go to home. I'm going to up the size on that guy. Same thing with the title. I like that it gave me the title. All right, now these are all fine as they are. They are all separate colors so that they can be distinguished one from the other. The percentages are here, so I'm going to click on the percents. I'm going to make them bigger. Now, if you make them too big, notice that it automatically pulls that box outside and puts a line to it. I don't need them that big, though. And that includes all of them. And there we have it. We know we've got a pie chart. We know the percentages. Oh, I did tell you I was going to tell you how to change the percentages. Okay, so what if you don't want percentages? Go back to chart design. Go back to We need chart legend. Nope. Data labels. Best fit outside. No, this is different than it was. This is more label options. So if you go back to label options, you will see percentage and show leader lines. The value, and you want to make sure that you've got percentage marked, nothing else. Category names puts the name, and the value puts the value. We don't want either of those. Just so that it's a neat, sleek design, we just want percentages. Showing the leader lines is just what happens when these get too big. So if it's not going to get too big, you don't necessarily need to have that on there either. Okay, so where was that? How do we get to those data labels? So we're going to add data labels. Click on that guy. More options. And that's where you go to switch it. So if you're looking at yours and yours, let's see, add data labels, and you've just clicked add data labels, and what you're getting is the millions. So the 78,564,800, and you're like, oh God, I don't know how to change it to percents. Once again, when you click on this and a plus, chart elements, you should be able to go to data labels, more options, text fill. Nope, that's not what I want. Text outline. Nope, where is it? Text box. Where'd it go? Label options, chart. Well, what happened there? I'm going to go back there. Data, more options. Label options. There we go. Unclick value, click on percent. Okay, that might be a toughie to find on yours. But do your best to find it. And if you can't find it, use your help and your search inside of your Excel to find it. Right? Hi, it's editing, Amy. I ran out of place to save, so I need to delete some of my recordings, I guess. But if you have any questions on any of this, I'm going to do the histogram one a little bit later. Feel free to reach out to me or to the Math Center or to Tim, and we will all help you get it straight. All right, thank you.